All right, so random thing happening. I have all of these little drawers or boxes that were given to me after someone had passed away. I already have a card catalog and I don't want to rebuild anything that'll take up space. So I've been thinking about this spot in my office. There's a metal stud here, but I think I'm able to move or wiggle this around. So I think right here, I'm going to put a whole row of those boxes. We'll see how it goes. So in there, there's a stud there, one back there that I'm going to cut through, and then one right here that I'm not going to mess with because that's the actual corner of the wall. But this one's not attached to anything. So I think I should be able to just take that out and get my inches right there. Like, so it'll fit like that. All right, tested everything out with a camera in the holes and then open up a gap just to double check my measurements, but I think it's gonna work inside there. Took my little stuff, moved it back on the other side of this wall. This is funny enough. This was a drawing. I was sketching out an idea for a tattoo sleeve about 18 years ago. So we'll obliterate that because I think it's gonna end at the door frame. I'm gonna put all these boxes from down there all the way up. Okay, got the drywall punched out, and there's an extra beam in here that goes in the corner, but it's not attached to anything. So I'm going to take that out, and that gives me my room for my drawers and a button system that I'm dreaming about. So I got to cut this stuff out, and I'm going to have to cut the corner of that one out. But all of this is cosmetic. It is not structural in any way. It's just a closet, so that's okay. Check out this. They're all screws. See how tiny those things are? He's got smaller ones than this too. But it was infinite. Little drawer after little drawer of little thing after little thing. So I got the small drawers, which I'm just keeping a couple of. We've got extras there. We've got all of these full. This is what's going in the wall. So tacks, brass screws, what do you call them? Like carbide carvers, little tins. Just keeps going on and on and on. Oh, another piece of burl I got from that guy. And then also they were going to throw these in the trash. Big old two-man jack saws. But I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I couldn't see them go in the trash. All right, a little update. I've got all the drywall off the front. And I realized I need to do the inside corner. So I took it off of there because I need to get the depth back to here, but I have an idea for buttons. This is where I was testing where the metal studs were, just to be sure, because it's right along that ridge. But because of the depth of this, I want to have access to this side in case anything malfunctions of how I'm going to do it. So I had to put the switches that I'm making on the left side, right? So sorry for the tour around, but it's going to have a drawer here. And as of now, there's going to be a button that I push over here that kicks the drawer out. And if those buttons ever malfunction, I can access them through the inside, and I can get my measurements for exactly how big this cabinet needs to be, because it's going to be a weird shape and size to fit that spot. All right, a little more demo, and then we'll get to construction. All right, lot done down here. Got all the shelves in, and both sides of the cabinet done. So that'll go together, and then all the little tidbits will start falling in place. But now I got to kind of shimmy that onto there and work them in. It's annoying, but I want to be able to take them in and out just in case they don't work. So otherwise, I'd glue in a couple and then shimmy in the rest. So we'll see. All right, got it mocked up. Let's see what the drawers look like, because I got one here. Those will fit. Oh, almost too tight. I painted them. Okay. Interesting. It's got to be that middle swollen. Darn. Okay, I got to paint the outside so it bows back. All right, just soaked the wood the other way with a spritz bottle in a little time, and now all of them fit. So now we need to go see how it fits upstairs. All right, all the guts are taken out. Cleaned up all the flanges that are missing in there. So I have my space that I need. I can now put my cabinet in here and see how much space I have for the buttons. Took some nice little measurements. So we're about ready to go. Let's see if we can dry fit it. All right, like a glove. That's where it's gonna sit. And I'll blend this. I'll actually patch it and paint it. Once I flush cut this, this gives me my measurement for the actual piece that needs to go here and how much room I have for buttons. I'll make that piece and then figure out where the buttons go. But I'm pretty excited about this. It's gonna be cool. Okay, so of course, the wall is not straight to the door frame. So it's 1.5 inches up top and close to 1.25 inches. Almost an inch and a little over 1.25 inches at the bottom. So I got to taper it. That'll be all right. All right, tapered pieces in. It can pull from a little reservoir underneath the door frame, so it can pull tight and flush. But I'm going to measure out where I want to do the buttons, and that gives me my size for all these things. So let me knock out buttonholes, and then I should be able to install this thing permanently. All right, got all the holes in. I've got the case mounted to the inside of the wall. Now I need to mount the holes into the case. So that'll be the next step. Then it's all the switches and the fun stuff. All right, got it fully installed. You can see it here. Kind of exciting. But I got a little bit of a bigger gap down here. I was trying to figure out why. I couldn't get it to move the right way. I think there's a little piece of beam in that corner that's keeping it from going over all the way. So I'm glad I screwed this all together and not glued it or whatever. I put just a few countersunk screws to hold this to this, and then screws in the side so I can always take it apart. So I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, just take this apart a little bit and fix that corner because that's gonna drive me crazy. But also, do a little chamfer on my buttons. That's gonna be exciting. All right, took out the shelves. That's the little problem. That little corner right there goes up and over. I gotta get rid of that little corner. That's just keeping it from going back all the way. So let me cut that out. All right, first skim of drywall mud to fill that up. That looks good. We'll get that sanded and then redone and hopefully paint it up. All right, we'll see if I can do this one-handed. The mock-up is not complete, but you'll get the idea. Here's the drawer, push back as far as it'll go because of the switch back there that you push and the drawer comes out. And then now you can grab the drawer. And then when you push it back in, the little switch back there resets. Once I get it all done, you'll see the guts of it, but that's kind of where I'm going. So now I gotta make these rod buttons where they need to go. All right, so what I knew would be my least favorite part here is I got to turn down some walnut into all of my button rods. So now I need to cut these up, and then I'm gonna laser engrave the numbers in the tops and get them ready to be buttons. But I'm just gonna cut them on table saw, and then we'll see them after they're all done. All right, I got all the maple numbers inlaid, and now I need to drill a hole in the back of each of them to accept the other part of the rod. So I'm gonna make a little jig that can hold this shape and then put it right in the center each time. Shouldn't take too long. I feel like I'm making corks here, but I've got all of my numbers cut and put in. I've got them countersunk here or drilled out, and I have the same on that piece. And in between is gonna go a 1/2 inch dowel that will fit in there. Okay, so the dowel goes back, hits the switch, kicks the drawer forward. So now I need to oil up these, I need to paint this, and then I want to glue up the switches and get it rolling to where it's nice. Probably should paint this first. Let's do that. All right, little test here. So button goes in, drawer comes out. I can grab it, and when the drawer goes back in, oh, there it goes. Button comes out. So I haven't put it in the sliding feature yet inside. I'll show you that. So I just have it hovering, but it'll have a little, not bushing, but a little area to slide through so it slides smoothly. But that's the basic premise. Push the button, it hits this. These act as positive stops so they don't go too far one way or the other. Yeah, so now I got to make the little thing that goes in the middle and fit them all in there. It's not glued on or anything, so it's not straight, but this is the mock-up with the internal thing working. So I can push it, the drawer comes out, push the drawer, and the button goes back. Now just got to do it 25 times. All right, I'm in my storage closet. I have all my things ready. I have a little jig I've set up because this is such a tight space. And these are the tracks that the rods are going to ride in. So they're going to come out of that hole, slide across that track to hit the pivot pin that then will kick out the drawer. So you can see it, but I have to get them the right spacing, the right distance away from the hole, and level, all those things. And this is only like 1.5 inches wide. So I can't get my hands in there too much. So I'm figuring out a way to how to attach it, glue it, and then take it off the jig. So that's what I'm working on this morning, is I got to knock out all of those. Now, I couldn't have done this before. I was hoping I could. I was hoping I could actually build the cabinet, put these on there, and then put it in place and then add this other third piece right there. But I could not because that third piece tucks back. So I'll show you around the corner. There's all my numbers looking sharp and oiled, all my back plates. But yeah, this panel right here that's attached to the cabinet, it tucks behind here. So I couldn't get the big piece in and then that turned into place because of the geometry of that gap. But the painting look is okay. I got a little sanding left to do. It raised the grain again really hard on that wood. But the drywall side looks pretty fun. So let me glue these guys in. All right, super hyped. Got the first one done, number 25. Drawer kicks out, button recedes, button comes back out. Now, I have to do this 25 times, and the thing that I have to do is fit the fronts and the backs to the right measurement. So you can see it there. Whoops, there you go. Fit there. But what I got to do first is the little rods that go in here into the gaps there, the little slides. I'm putting a flat side on, like so. And this is what I kind of designed. It centers it up in the hole for the front, but what it keeps is it keeps it from rotating. And so that way the number on the front doesn't skew, right? So the button doesn't twist. So I just put all the flats on here. My shop's a wreck, but I just planed off all of these faces to fit in a scrap of this track. Once again, just so that they don't rotate. So now I got to fit all of these to the right length for each drawer. So we'll do that, and then I think we'll be really close to done. All right, had to take the door off, so that'll be the last thing to put up, but I got them all in, and they work just great. So see one down here, push in, drawer comes out, resets button. Well, I am super pumped about that. All in place. So, thanks for following along, or letting me subject you to this idea in video. But yeah, I think that's a wrap. So I just wrapped up my little elevator cabinet. Got everything done and wrapped up. Now you can see when you push a button, The drawers come out, you can use whatever's in there, and then it resets the button. Drawers, reset button. But 25 drawers all fit in that little wall. Pretty stoked on it.